everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Photography. I'm Mark Wallace, hanging out with Destany. Now, recently I posted a video and somebody said, hey, doesn't anybody use umbrellas anymore? You know, umbrellas sort of seem to be that beginner light modifier that gets thrown in the back storage and you don't use it. You got all your soft boxes and beauty dishes and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, in this episode, we are going to use an umbrella, a giant umbrella. Take a look at this. And we're going to create a really beautiful soft light portrait using just umbrellas. Now the other thing we're going to do is we're not going to go overboard with backgrounds or any kind of light modifiers. We're just going to use umbrellas and a simple white wall, nothing else. It's something that you can do in your home studio. So let's get to it right now. We're going to begin by setting up our key light. This is the light that defines the entire look. And so what I'm using is this umbrella right here. This is a deep silver umbrella. I love this. It will really reflect a lot of light. The one thing though that I don't like about a silver umbrella is that it's very specular. In other words, the reflection of the light on our model, especially her skin, is going to be shining. That's really not what we want for a nice, soft, beautiful light, but we have to start somewhere. And so we're going to start by setting this up. So I'll pop this out. I want to make sure I don't hit you there. Then I'm going to stick this on my light about like that. And notice that I have this deep enough that the light is only hitting the umbrella. There's nothing spilling out the sides. And then what I want to do is I want to put this up, not too high, because I want this to sort of surround her with light. And so that's why we have this really nice, large, deep umbrella. And I'm just going to have it to the side just a little bit so we have some contrast. So we have a little bit more light on one side than the other, but because it's so big, it'll wrap around and give us beautiful light. So we're going to shoot this at about f8. And that is going to eliminate all the ambient light because we have a lot of video lights going. So I'm going to take my light meter and we're going to meter this. So I'm going to meter this toward the camera. So that meter's at 12.7. That's way too much light. So I will take this down and then let's meter that again. That's f10. Still too much light. Take that down a little bit more. And we're at f8 exactly. Bam, f8. Okay, you can shoot at any aperture value that you choose. I just like f8 because of the depth of field that I get. We might shoot at something a little bit more shallow. Beautiful. Okay, when we look at this, we can see that it's just way too contrasty. We have way too much light coming on one side than the other. I'd like to have a lot more diffused light. And we can do that with an attachment that I have for this umbrella. Let me show you that right now. I can diffuse that light using this. This goes over the front of that umbrella. And so instead of having that really specular light coming out, it's going to diffuse the light. It'll fill in the shadows on the opposite side of the light. It's going to look much nicer. So let me pop this on the umbrella really quickly and show you what it looks like. Okay, so now we have this diffusion on the front of this umbrella. And I know you're going to say, Mark, that's not the spirit of the game. We wanted just an umbrella. But why not use a modifier if you have it? We are going to do that. I think it looks wonderful. So we're going to put this back up where we had it before, about right there. Then let's meter this light. Again, we want this to meter at about f8. So I'll meter that. That's 6.3, so we've lost a little light using that diffusion panel. So let me meter that one more time. And now we're at f9. There we go. Now we're at f8. We're back to where we started. f8 looks great. So now let's take a shot with this diffusion. I think that is going to look much, much better. Oh, take a look at that. It's so soft and beautiful. We can look at our tethered setup here. We can see that this is really, really working nicely. So what I want to do is I want to dial in exactly where this light is. I want to get it as much on axis with my camera as possible so that the shadows are minimal. So I'm going to move this over, keep moving it over. I might even have to put it right next to the lens of my camera. There we go. So it's to the side, but it's on axis. We're gonna take this shot. Oh, that is just soft, soft wraparound, beautiful light. I absolutely love this. So with the first umbrella, that diffusion panel, we already have an image that looks pretty darn good. But what we need to do is we need to add another umbrella to add a little bit of kick to this setup. Just that first umbrella looks spectacular. And I was actually surprised because this is big, the effective size of that light is so big, even that white wall is working. It's not falling completely into darkness. And so just a wall, one umbrella, we could stop there, and I think everybody would be happy with those beautiful pictures. But what I want to do is I want to add just a little bit of light, a highlight, to the opposite side of Destany's face, and so we get a little kicker there. And so to do that, we're going to stick with our umbrellas. I'm just going to use a normal old umbrella here. This is not a deep umbrella, just a normal umbrella, and we're going to add that to the opposite side. So I'm going to put this on my light here, and we're going to put that up, and I'll put this about like this. I want this to come from behind and give that a nice highlight. So I'll turn this on. That looks good. Okay, because this is an umbrella, it's just sort of nice, soft light. I don't have to be too particular about where it's placed. And in fact, I'm going to sort of zoom this in a little bit so we don't have a huge light, just a nice soft light to highlight the other side. I do have to make sure that this isn't so close that it's coming inside the photo. So I'm going to look through here to see. And right now, yep, I can see the umbrella clearly in the shot. So what I'm going to do is a little trick. I'm going to raise this up and point it down. That's still going to give us light. It's going to have light coming down and give us a highlight here, but it doesn't matter if it's low or high. It's just going to add a little bit of light. So that'll get it outside of our camera. I'm going to take a look here. That's almost perfect. I need to move this just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to meter this. I want this to meter about the same as the key light, so around f8. If it's f9 or f10, I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to put my Lumisphere down like that. I'm going to point it up at this light right here. Meter that. Whoa, f20. Way too much light. All right, let's take that down. That's 5.6, not enough. I'm going to adjust that power. 6.3, let's go up a little bit more. Okay, so now that is at f9, that's where I've metered that. So we're going to just take a look, take a shot. Because we're tethered, we can see exactly what's coming in. And so let's see how we do. I'll take a shot. Oh, now we have a nice highlight. So what I want you to do is I want you to turn your cheek just a little bit more toward this light. And then we're going to take a shot here. And looking at this, I think the highlight is just a little bit too much. So I'm just going to season to taste. I'm not even going to meter this. I'm just going to take this down about 1/2 a stop. And then I'm going to take another shot. And then let's take a shot. Ooh, this is beautiful. It's just beautiful, beautiful light. And now what we can see is that this light is not only hitting her on her cheek, but it's actually hitting this and reflecting back. And so our exposure has changed a little bit. So I'm going to meter this whole thing one more time, facing the camera, out of the way here. And yeah, so we're at about 9. So I'll make an adjustment to my camera here. And now let's take a shot. Beautiful, beautiful images. Now that we have this light set up, let's take a closer look at how everything looks, and then we'll take our final portraits. This lighting setup, you can see that the key light is right on axis with where our camera is. Those two big lights back there, the square lights, are for our video. You can ignore them. But our key light, this giant translucent umbrella, is right on axis with our camera. The kicker light is just totally opposite of that. And so you see from the position of this light, it's throwing light right on Destany's chin. It is perfect. We also have this all tethered, and you can see that we have nice, beautiful light. beautiful portraits don't have to be difficult. We were able to create those amazing portraits using 2 umbrellas. One large umbrella with a diffusion panel on the front, and then just a normal umbrella for that kicker light. And even the white background with nothing on it worked just fine because that light was so soft and diffused. Thank you so much, Destany. I love these images. I think we could shoot this just forever because it just looks wonderful and we didn't have to do a lot to make this happen. If you want to see more of Destany's stuff, I've included a link to her Instagram in the description of this video. Plus, all of the gear that I've used in this video is linked. I've tagged that so you can click on those and see exactly the details and specs and buy if you want to as well. Also, don't forget to subscribe, give us a like. If you have any comments or questions, suggestions for other videos, please leave those in the comments. Thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see you again next time.